Jesus was a rabbi. If you were Simon and Jesus were to visit your synagogue one fine Sabbath morning to preach, the category you likely would have put him in was that of a rabbi or teacher. The title rabbi literally means master. Rabbis were the spiritual master of Israel. Not only were they expert teachers of the Torah, the scriptures of the day, they were also magnetic example of life with God. Those special few who shine with an inner luminescence. Every rabbi has his yoke, a Hebrew idiom for his set of teaching, his way of reading scripture, his take on how to thrive as a human being in God's good world. How you too could taste a little of what they tasted. Rabbi came from a broad cross-sections of society. They could have been farmers or blacksmiths or even carpenters. Most trained under another rabbi for many years, then began to teach and call their own disciples around the age of 30. But there was no formal certification like in our modern education system. Authority worked differently. Your life and teaching were your credentials. Rabbi were itinerant and most were unpaid. Some worked their farm or ran business for seasons of the year, then travel in off the seasons. They walked from town to town to teach in whatever synagogue would have them, relying on the hospitality of peace, people of peace. They often spoke in parables and riddles. Normally, they traveled with a small band of disciples, teaching in a classroom, but in an open air and along the road, not from the textbook or curriculum, but from the Torah and the school of life. Over and over again, in the 4 Gospels, Jesus is addressed as rabbi. But he was no ordinary rabbi. Everywhere he went, the crowds were astonished and overwhelmed with wonder. The biographer Luke wrote, "All spoke well of him and were amazed at the gracious words that came from his lips." Mark said, "The people were amazed at his teaching because he taught them as one who had authority, not as the teachers of the law." They gave feedback like, "Where did this man get this wisdom?" And even, "No one ever spoke the way this man does." Of course, saying that Jesus was a rabbi is about as insightful as saying that he was Jewish. Although that is another truth, copious number of people forget. But sadly, very few people, including many Christians, take Jesus seriously as a spiritual teacher. To some, he is a wrath-like apparition, there to inspire later generations to a fuzzy kind of goodwill to others. He is a social revolutionary racist, fist up to the Roman Empire then and all empires now. To a large number of Western Christians, he is a delivery mechanism for a particular theory of atonement, as if the only reason he came was to die, not to live. As a result, many Christians don't consider Jesus as that smart. Holy, sure. Kind, yes. Even divine. But intelligent? Not really. An increasing number of Christians don't agree with him on crucial matters of human flourishing. They would rather trust a politician, celebrity, or pastor gone rogue than Jesus, the teacher and the disciples who studied directly under him. They would never even think to consult Jesus on the pressing matters of our time: politics, racial justice, sexuality, gender, mental health, and so on. As Dallas Willard said, what lies at the heart of astonishing disregard of Jesus found in the moment-to-moment existence of multitudes of professing Christ is a sample lack of respect for him. This is vital because if to follow Jesus is to trust him to lead you to the life you desire, it is hard, if not impossible, to entrust your life to someone you don't respect. But what if Jesus was more intelligent than any other teachers in history? More than Stephen Hawking or Karl Marx or even the Buddha? What if he was a brilliant sage with insight into the human condition that is still 2 millennia later without parallel? What if he simply has no equal or peer? Now, that could be someone to put your trust in. Of course, to call Jesus a brilliant rabbi is not to say he was just a brilliant rabbi. The sign hanging above Jesus' head when he was crucified said, King of the Jews, not Guru. It tells you a lot about Jesus that his enemy perceived him as a political threat. This would have made perfect sense in Jesus' culture. Moses, the great historical luminary of the Jewish people, was called Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses our rabbi, and Israel's great teacher. First century Israelites were waiting for a new Moses to appear and lead a new exodus out of the Roman Empire, a figure they began to call the Messiah. Some expected the long-awaited Messiah to appear as a warrior or military leader, but many expected him to come as a great teacher. As two scholars put it, the Jewish people believed that becoming a great scholar of scriptures represented life's supreme achievement. In such a culture, it makes sense that Jesus should be the greatest of teachers. No wonder Jesus became a Jewish rabbi. But we Christians believe he was even more than the Messiah. Jesus made claim that no Jewish king would ever dare utter claims that got him accused of blaspheming, a capital offense in his world. As one of his critics put it,